Are you in control of your own mind, or are you just waiting for the right suggestion, consciously or subconsciously? I just recently finished Kurosawa's Cure, and it blew me the fuck away, man. The more I think about it, the deeper it goes into my psyche. I needed to take some time to think about it after I finished, but the more time I take, it just goes deeper and deeper into my mind, and I can't get it out of there. So Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Cure was released in 1997. It follows Detective Takabe as he hunts a series of killers who all share basically two things: an X carved into their victims and a total lack of memory. No motive, no connection, just a mysterious amnesiac named Mamiya who seems to delete their identities with a single question, a sound, or a visual. At least temporarily delete their identities. But something I think that would be easy to miss is that I don't know if the horror in Cure is the violence. It's in the mundane. I think Kurosawa uses the low hum of washing machine or the spill of water or a sound to hypnotize the audience alongside the characters. It's like a film that shows our social rules, our very sense of self, are just a fragile skin. And Mamiya doesn't force people to kill, he just peels that skin back and lets the shadow self take over. That's what it feels like. And sometimes you're watching a horror film, but the most terrifying thing isn't that you experience a scream or the violence. In this case, it's like the silence of someone realizing that they don't know who they are anymore. So essentially, what I keep coming back to after watching this film and thinking about it forever is 5 questions. 5 questions that I think are at the heart of what this movie is talking about. And yeah, the movie does deal with, the things that happen, the detective clues, solving a crime, the characters, and like figuring out what's going on, solving it, solving the mystery. Sure, but I think you could make the strong argument, sorry, my dog's drinking, that those are kind of surface to what's really going on. And what's really at the heart of everything for me are these 5 questions. Number 1, are there actually tools like this that exist in the world, or have they been used before? So one thing that this reminds me of a little bit is devil's breath or scolopamine or burundanga, which is derived from the nightshade plant. There's a Guardian article about this drug in South America that apparently turns people into zombies and you can make them do whatever you want. And the U.S. government at the time, 2015, that this article was written, warns tourists that there are 50,000 incidents per year with this drug. But the article also said they didn't really have a source for that. But my point is, there might be something that like this that is existing already if this thing doesn't. Because I think that's really what the terror is, right? Is this possible to hypnotize someone and make them do these things, and to be able to do it to the point where nobody can really stop you unless they kill you, but they would be doing it like Takabe, kind of like, I think he's in the right when he kills him. I don't remember the exact situation, but it almost would have to be like, if you didn't have the right situation, you got to put this guy in jail, but he's hypnotizing like prison guards and getting out and whatever else he's doing. How can you stop a person like that? So I think, to me, that's really the heart of what this film is about, like the possibility that this magic exists. And if it does, how long has it been used? Who is it being used by? Which leads me to my next question. Are these tools that are weirdly passed down? Because you get the sense that Mamiya is kind of just this floating ghost, and he's got this magic in his pocket that it's kind of like a secret that he knows about, that nobody else knows about, maybe a few other people. And it's based on Mesmer, right? This guy who in the 17th century or whenever it was thought that you could hypnotize people, but apparently he wasn't very good at it. But subsequent people took up his idea and his concepts and his teachings, and in the movie at least, perfected it. Is it that it's just kind of a secret thing that's being passed down? Or has it already been in the hands of powerful people like secret government operations, CIA, Mossad? Now, before you dismiss that, call it a conspiracy theory, whatever you want to do, but just look up, Operation Northwoods, or those things that Ted Kaczynski was a part of. What do you call them? MK Ultra. Thank you. That's what it was. I had to pause this. So if this thing is possible, and you can't tell me, I would guess, I don't think you have to be a conspiracy theorist to think, oh, I'm sure they've dabbled in flash technology or the ability to hypnotize people using flashing on streetlights, or like what's the possibility of this? You think that the CIA or Mossad or MI5 or whoever, like, think they haven't talked to like hypnotists about the possibility? You know, they always do it under the guise of like for improving warfare and reducing casualties during the time of war, but they're not throwing that data away when it comes to the public sector. They could use it for persuasion and propaganda. Like it's crazy to think that they wouldn't be aware of something like this. And if they weren't aware of it before this movie, they're certainly aware of it now. We'll come back to that idea. But the third question I have is this film really about what it takes for someone to just simply switch on the shadow self, let's say? I don't know much about the shadow self, so I want to be careful here. But my impression of it is that it's the shadow that exists within you that you have to acknowledge sometimes. I don't know if you have to act on it, but you have to acknowledge that it's there, and we kind of keep it down, but it'll build if you don't acknowledge it. Is that close? I don't know. Tell me out there if there are any therapists. But that idea of this tool, this magic being there, is it possible that it's just that easy to flip that switch? I don't know. I don't even want to say any more about this. I'll let you comment below and let me know what you think. And the fourth question is, once somebody comes up with this idea, whether it's in real life like Mesmer and his followers, or even a film like this, are we doomed now to experience it? You know, I am become death, destroyer of worlds. Once you think of something, nuclear bombs or Mesmer or this technique of hypnotizing people, are we now doomed to experience it? It didn't exist. Somebody has the idea. And this idea existed before this film, I think, with Mesmer at least. I don't know the history of it, but let's just say that it did. Is it inevitable that we would experience it maybe first in a film and then in real life? Or with this drug that I mentioned in South America, the devil's breath? Is it possible? I mean, are we willing it into existence like AI? We're conjuring up like Dr. Frankenstein, just making it come to life. Are we doomed to experience it? Okay, and the last question I opened with, are we ever in control of our own mind, or are we just waiting for a suggestion? What roads does this question not go down? You know, it's like that old saying of like, if you don't decide, the universe will decide for you. Like if you're thinking about what to study in college or what to do with your life, like the decision will be made whether you make it or not. So you might as well make it. But is it inevitable that other things are guiding us? I mean, there's a great book by Charles Duhigg about habits, and it talks about how these patterns emerge in our brains to protect us. We do these things that keep us safe. We do these things that are comfortable, and we're not even thinking about it, or we do think about it, but it goes back to what it was. Sort of like if you're trying to lose weight, you just go back to the habits that you're comfortable with, that your brain knows. They're sort of ingrained or put into like grooves, like a record. Like our brain is like a record where it just repeats. The grooves are there and it just plays that same album over and over again. Is that what's happening? Are other people directing it? And it goes back to my other question of like, if people have these tools or they're aware of them, how much are they using them? Is it being used on a daily basis? How do you know it's not? What if you ran into a CIA person, if you're in the US or elsewhere, when you're 12 and you just did like this sort of, those aren't the droids you're looking for. And ever since you're like, I'm not looking for these droids. Your whole life, 75, you're still like, these aren't the droids I'm looking for. Whole life. How do you know? Until somebody comes back and goes, boom, like Office Space. Remember Office Space? We're basing these theories on hard facts here, Office Space. But you see my point here. How much of our lives are being directed by external things, and how much of it is being directed by our own choices? Maybe that's like the Matrix for us, Stoicism, about how you can't control things outside of yourself. You can only control yourself and how you react to those things. It's a very hard thing to do. It's beautiful. The idea is beautiful, but it's very hard to do. But that's like the heart of Marcus Aurelius's writings and Epictetus and all those Stoic philosophers. The idea that you have to take control of your own life, and you can only control what you can do. But how do you guard against things like that? Or Marcus Aurelius, was he aware of the devil's breath or the Mesmer techniques? I mean, maybe they had something like that back in those days. I don't know. Just called it something different. It's probably been something that's been around forever, the ability to hypnotize people. People did it with speeches, political speeches, movements, People get you to go to work every day, whether you want to or not. You got to pay bills, right? You could people could make changes in their life to change the things that they don't like, but we don't. By the way, I'm including myself in all of these accusations and thoughts and ideas. Like I'm not outside of it. I'm just trying to get at the truth here. And these questions that I have of this movie, clearly you can see how this movie affected me. It's just so deep. It runs so deep because it gets to the heart of everything. And by the way, I want to just say also that one of the things that makes this movie so terrifying is kind of the idea that you just thought of something or saw something that's terrifying, that seems very plausible, that you didn't know existed. I had never thought, holy shit, I never thought about the fact that people could not hypnotize. I thought people could lay on a couch and they could ask you about your father and then, eventually get you with the swinging ball or chain to get you to go under. The idea that it could be done so easily, that you could be talking to someone and they could just say a word or get you to look at dripping water that's near you or a bird or whatever. And that's it. That's what it takes for you to go and commit whatever act they want you to commit. That's the terrifying thing. Leatherface is terrifying. Freddy Krueger is terrifying. But this is a whole new kind of terrifying. And I think I got to get more into J-horror. I've heard this is one of the better ones, but I think there's more to explore. Although I'm kind of hesitant to get in because this one really terrifies me. So anyway, great film. It's on Criterion Collection. Let me know what you think. Do you have any answers for these questions that I just posed? Because I don't know if I do. I think that if I had to guess, I'd say that these tools have been around for a long time. The powers that be are aware of them and they try them. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Whether an individual could actually do this, who knows? I mean, if a person gets out of these programs where they use stuff like that, why wouldn't they use it in their daily life or they be aware of it? I mean, they're all about there are plenty of people who are trained in the art of understanding people and figuring out their tics and what makes them think they're lying by touching their face or convincing people, persuading people. I mean, Tony Robbins is doing that and he's trying to teach you how to do that. I'm not saying Tony Robbins is the devil's breath, but I'm just saying those kinds of things exist. And if there is a holy grail like this, like Mesmer or whatever Mamiya, whatever tool he's using, whatever magic, it's probably more appropriate. Of course people would use it if it were available. That's what I think though. What do you think? Put it below. Make sure you support the channel if you can on Patreon. There's a link below to that too. If it grows enough, then we'll start doing fun things like, I don't know, we'll think of it. I'll take suggestions, stickers, private videos, discussions, conversations on Patreon, whatever. But for right now, I can't do much more than just ask for your support and $3 a month. And then if it grows, get to that point. All right. Great movie. Let me know what you think.